जय यशोदानन्दन जय व्रजजनरं जमुना जय यशोदानन्दन जय जय यमुनातीरवनचारि जय कुञ्ज विहारे जय यमुना कुञ्ज विहारे जय राधा माधव जय कुञ्ज विहारे जय राधा माधव जय राधा माधव जय कुञ्ज विहारे जय हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 राम श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की श्री निताई गौरांग भगवान की श्रील प्रभुपाद की समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय निताय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। हरे कृष्ण। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरत्वसे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त श्रीराधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी श्रीराधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नीलाचलनिवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घामि गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम्।
Hare Krishna. So we are today very blessed and fortunate that today we have with us Association of His Grace Prem Prabhu. How many of you are hearing from Prem for the first time? So I would like to give a brief introduction of Prem Prabhu. So Prem Prabhu did his B.Tech and M.Tech from IIT Kharagpur. And when he took admission there, and even while he was studying there, he was the only devotee in his batch, and hence we can understand his conviction from the very beginning of his Krishna consciousness. And later on, as he completed his B.Tech, devotees felt that he is such an exemplary and important devotee in the voice that if he does M.Tech also, another degree, so that he stays in voice, the full voice for 2 more years, it will help devotees. So he agreed to sacrifice and stayed for 2 more years. It is M.Tech, and he was also serving as a OC of voice, overall coordinator of the voice, and giving so much love and affection. I remember while I was there in voice, newly coming, I saw Prem Prabhu as a OC of voice, and giving such love and affection to each and every devotee. So I was very blessed to get his association from my very beginning days of my Krishna consciousness. And later on, after passing out, Prabhu did a job in Calcutta itself. Prabhu found a job in Calcutta so that he can serve Calcutta, and he was preaching in various colleges. While he was in Kharagpur, he was very instrumental in preaching in NIT Jamshedpur and stabilizing the voice in NIT Jamshedpur. And then Prabhu came to Kharagpur, Prabhu came to Calcutta, and he was instrumental in doing various programs in many colleges like IIST and Jadavpur, and many colleges Prabhu would be visiting and helping in preaching there. And after some time, Prabhu was asked to help in preaching in IIT Dhanbad. So IIT Dhanbad preaching actually began and stabilized under the guidance, the first batch onwards, under the guidance of Prem Prabhu. So Prem Prabhu has been very consistently traveling to IIT Dhanbad and helping the preaching there. So very instrumental in doing so much youth preaching. Prabhu also served as a ISKCON Youth Forum chairman in Calcutta, and taking care of so much of youth preaching there. Later on, as the as the need increased in temple, Prabhu also served to take care of all the devotees and brahmacharis in the temple. So because his name is Prem, Svarupa, very loving and very kind. So he gave so much love and affection. He was naturally a person who helped grow so many devotees in Krishna consciousness. Very wonderful, loving counselor, guide, and caregiver. And as in 2019 the instruction was given by his special master to serve here, so Prabhu very enthusiastically came here to do something new service of helping the people who have lot of material wealth but no spiritual wealth. Right? So Prabhu went out to them and tried to give them Krishna consciousness. And Prabhu, because his nature is very loving and caring, so he is currently inspiring many such people who have material wealth but no spiritual wealth. Very difficult for them to take up Krishna consciousness because they have a lot of satisfaction in the material world. But Prabhu's love and affection is inspiring and encouraging them also to take up Krishna consciousness. And currently Prabhu is also one of the very important temple council member of this temple and leading and he's the chairman of CDMC, that is Community Development and Management Council, which takes care of all the congregation teaching of various varieties of congregation, children, and developing the whole community. So he is leading that as a chairman. So we are very grateful that today, despite Prabhu's very hectic schedule, he is giving us also the time, a pioneer youth preacher, and currently a very deeply devoted congregation teacher, and from his heart, very genuine devotee, as all of us will hear with understanding. So let us heartily welcome Prem Surupu to our Durga Puja camp by 3 times loudly chanting Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. I'd like to first of all seek blessings of all the assembled devotees here, especially blessings of His Grace Acharya Ratna Prabhu, His Grace Mukunda Leela Prabhu. I've personally been nourished and grown in their association. Very grateful. And to all the other devotees, Durga Puja is a very special time. You get to meet all the devotees together. Today when I entered the Guru Puja, it was completely a different experience. Ram Prem Prabhu as usual, sing and make everyone dance. And as I was dancing, my dhoti slipped off. So Srila Prabhupada says that when we practice Krishna consciousness and perform Sankirtan, as we are dancing, trying to show compassion and assisting Srila Prabhupada, as we are dancing and doing so many services, just like our clothes can come off during dancing, similarly Prabhupada says our material clothes will come off. And we will not realize when we have joined the dancing party of Lord Chaitanya. Right? It's already a dancing party of Lord Chaitanya, but we will get graduated and we will not even realize that we are there. That is what Srila Prabhupada is offering all of us the opportunity. Right? And we already have so many wonderful examples of devotees who have successfully marched into the spiritual realm, leaving a path for all of us to follow. Anugata. So I'm very blessed to be in the association of devotees here. So I'll be speaking on Narada boy, how he became a devotee. 1, 5, 23, 24, 25. I will be reading some verses and then we will discuss about them. This is 1, 5, 23. So we'll just read the verse and then we will explain. We will read through Prabhupada. We will not read through Prabhupada's whole purports and we will speak on the theme. Is that alright? Aham puratita bhave abhavam mune dasyastu kasyaschana vedavadina nirupito रूपितो बालकैव योगिनां शुश्रूषणे प्रावृषि निर्विवक्षता. So this is Narad Muni speaking to Vyasadeva. We began the conversation between Vyasadeva and Narad Muni yesterday, and as well as Acharya Ratna Prabhu spoke about the conversation, the samvad, which is the basis of the whole Krishna consciousness movement. The most fortunate situation, Acharya was saying, that is to be in the association of devotees, to hear in the association of devotees, and to repetitively hear in the association of devotees. And all of us are blessed by this repetitive hearing in the association of devotees, even if you don't want it. When I was studying and growing up in IIT, and it's been so many years, how the time flies, we just don't realize. It's been a journey for 20 years or more for many devotees, and I think you would have college, you would have exams, and just on the last day of the exam, the camp is already decided, the yatra is already decided. You do the camp, and by the time you come back, you spend few days here now. You have to set up the voice, you have to do preaching, you have to do this. So I think hardly there was any opportunity to think anything. There was so much of momentum in Krishna consciousness. I would tell His Grace Radhesham Prabhu that he has designed a process by which you can take care of people from womb to tomb. But you don't even realize that you've been practicing, and even without you wanting. Usually when people finish exams, what do they think? They will take rest. We used to have people in the college who would take rest and not get up for 1-2 days. And that was their perfection. Right? But for devotees, they're just waiting for the last exam, and they know train chhoot jayega. Chalo, let's go there, and we have a camp, we're going to dance. So just by the association of devotees, we are able to experience spiritual growth. So Acharya was speaking about this aspect yesterday. So then, once Vyasadeva has been told that we should make an exclusive and repetitive glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and compile Srimad Bhagvatam after deep meditation, Narad Muni also wants to give more weightage and convince Vyasadeva why what I am telling is so important. So sometimes when somebody tells you something, you may feel, I don't know whether it will work. Kaam karega. Then Narad Muni gives his personal example to illustrate what I am saying is true. Vyasadeva and Narad Muni have the same program. What is Vyasadeva's program? He wants to help people who are stuck in this material existence to come out and go to Krishna's lotus feet. That's Vyasadeva's program, and that is why he did compilation of the whole Vedic literatures, to give a gradual process to bring them to Krishna. And Narada intervened because Vyasadeva realized, I'm not feeling satisfied. The result nahi. Right? So much result is not coming. They are not becoming Hare Krishna devotees. What is the problem? So Narad Muni says you have done a lot of mixing. You have to give pure glorification of the Supreme Lord, and the fortunate and the intelligent will pick it up. Prabhu was mentioning. And when the intelligent people one, yadyad acharati shrestha, tattad evataro janah sapramanam kurute lokastad anuvartate. It will happen. Just like when Prabhupada was preaching Krishna consciousness and George Harrison became a devotee. And when George Harrison, who was Beatles #1 all over the world, he became Hare Krishna. So all over the world, people started becoming Hare Krishna. So in this way, some intelligent people will pick up and everybody will get influenced. So Vyasadev's program is to deliver, and Narada's program is also to deliver. And Narad Muni is a very experienced preacher of Krishna consciousness. In the pages of Srimad Bhagvatam, literally talk about anybody who is confused and troubled and don't know what to do. And Narada is there to give him the path to go back to Krishna's lotus feet. All the great devotees. So Narada also has the same purpose, and he is speaking to Vyasa, and he's telling him his own example, how I became a Hare Krishna, how I became a devotee. You learn from my example, and thus compile Srimad Bhagavatam. So he begins his story. O Muni, in the last millennium, I was born as the son of a certain maid servant engaged in the service of Brahmanas who were following the principles of Vedanta. When they were living together during the 4 months of the rainy season, I was engaged in their personal service. So Narad Muni is speaking about his story. And it is very interesting to hear how somebody comes to Krishna consciousness. Right? How people really come to Krishna consciousness. It's a very interesting experience. Right? So Narad Muni starts speaking that actually I was the son of a maid servant, a Shudrani. You know, it was not even clear who is my father. I was like 4 or 5 years old. And I got an opportunity to serve the Bhakti Vedantas in Chaturmas. What's going on now? Right? For 4 months. Narad Muni, how did he become a Dasi Putra? Then Bhagavatam explains that there is a life before that. That's like people, when they see their situation, they don't know, हमने क्या किया था कि हम ऐसे हो गए. But we understand that this is not the beginning. We're just kind of on an inertia of a journey. He says, my past life, I was Upabharana. He was a heavenly resident in heaven, and he was a great singer. Like in Kali Yuga, if you become a great Bollywood or Hollywood or pop singer, you become so famous all over the world. And when you can sing so well, what do you attract? A lot of fans. Right? So many fans. And a lot of women. So Upabharana had so much wealth, so many fans, and so many women following him. And he would sing so melodiously. So Prabhupada is explaining that he was in a very fortunate position. At one level, if you see on a materialistic level, he had so much. Who would not want to be like the top of the world? वो गाए तो दुनिया झूमे. Right? And everybody is like holding your photos. That was Upabharana. But because his investment was for sense gratification alone, he was singing to make everyone mesmerized so that they will again give him sense gratification. What happened? Narada says that I became cursed by the other devatas to become a Dasiputra. He said, you're staying in heaven, but you're only engaged in sense gratificatory activities. He said he was singing some songs on a material level. So Prabhupada says, look, he was in the most fortunate situation materially if you evaluate. Right? The whole world is behind you. The whole money is behind you. The whole, enjoyment, what the world is looking for is behind you. Jai Shri Nitai Gaurang Bhagwan ki, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. And what happened? He was cursed to become Dasiputra. So many times we say that actually who are the poor people? Poor people who you see on the road, roti kapda makan nahi, और बहुत ही बुरी अवस्था में है. Poor people are rich people who squandered their wealth in sense gratification. Who are poor people? If you look at a poor person, you can know कितने बड़े estate का मालिक होगा. इतनी अय्याशी किया कि दासी पुत्र बन गया. What Bhagavatam is saying is the truth. And who are rich people? We will talk about it. People who have made their good fortune by serving the great souls. And now Narada boy, who is the Dasi Putra, now look at his situation. He is Shudrani's son. You do not even know who is the father. Think about it. And no wealth, no respect, no prestige, not even arrangement for how to eat. And in that situation, now somebody may say, itna unfortunate situation, daridrata ka. But that Narada boy became Narad Muni. Right? Narad Muni, who when he enters this universe, makes the whole universe nourished. Poshanam. How? Because when Narad Muni comes, Narada Muni bhajaye vina Radhika Ramana name. He does Radhika Ramana Nama, and when he starts chanting Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Indra, Yama, everyone start dancing. You know, Prabhupada said, if you want to conquer death, invite Yamaraj in Sankirtan. So if you're performing Sankirtan, Yamaraj is also performing Sankirtan, then where will he keep account? So he said, that is the way to conquer death, Prabhupada said. So Narad Muni would perform Sankirtan and the whole world is singing. And what happens if the whole world sings and glorifies the Lord? The Lord becomes happy. The Lord becomes happy. So the Lord is the root of the universe. The Lord is nourished because he's happy. All of us who are part and parcel of Krishna, we become nourished. That is the process. So Narad Muni, just by coming and glorifying the Supreme Lord exclusively, nourishes the whole universe in ecstasy. That is Narada Muni. Narada, one who can give the Supreme Lord and put him in the heart of everyone. So that is Narad Muni's position. And he's bringing about the transformation. Right? So once Prabhupada was asked that what about living entities in this material world? So Prabhupada was like, what about them? He said, what's going to happen to them? Will they be able to come out? And Prabhupada said, the living entities in this material world, they are expert in digging their own grave. And they do it in association, in great pride. Prabhupada says he's smoking cigarette and saying it's cool. He should be a fool to put fire in the mouth and say it's cool. The Prabhupada said people have lost their intelligence and they are only entangled. Like Acharya Tunpu was mentioning yesterday, quicksand. We are only becoming more and more entangled. We are stuck in the web of the spider. The more we try to get out in this material world, by our mental and physical capacities, we become more entangled and more confused. Like Arjuna. Arjuna was giving argument over argument that how I should not fight. But after giving argument, your case should become strong. But after giving all arguments, Arjuna, Gandhi was slipped out. He was on his knees and started crying bitterly. The more you try to solve the problem of life, the more miserable you become. That is how this world is. So literally, the living entity is expert in making his situation bad to worst. No way. Then what is the way out? He said, Prabhupada says, Krishna knows that the jiva, when it goes to the material world, he will make his situation the worst. So knowing the situation, Krishna sends devotees to this world. So the good fortune to this world is the association of the sadhus. That is the good fortune of this world. When the gopis are in separation to Krishna, they're glorifying. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गला श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति हे भूरिदा जना. The gopis are singing the glorification of the Bhurida Jana. He says the Bhurida Jana, seeing the situation of the people in this world, Tapta Jivana. Constantly Durga Devi is taking the Trishul and Adhyatmik, Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik, striking more and more. You meet a person year after year and ask him, Kaise ho? The real story is, he's become more troubled. Prabhupada said once he met a person in the hospital. He found out that he's got accident. So Prabhupada went to the hospital and saw this person so much patti that, leg was hanging like this, he was hanging like this. And then Prabhupada asked, how are you? And the person said, I am fine, I am okay. And Prabhupada said, yes, Maya is taking a lot of fine. You're passing stool in the same place, passing urine in the same place. They have to put food in your mouth. You're in such a miserable situation. And if asked, Kemon ache? Bhalo. And the whole world is cheating each other. सब सोच रहे हैं सब भालो आमी भालो नहीं मतलब मुझे कुछ प्रॉब्लम है. But actually that is the story of everybody. So everybody is being fined by Maya, and the only hope is the sadhus, the Bhurida Jana. They come to this world and they glorify the Supreme Lord. Kathamritam, the Bhagavad Kathamritam that they pour to this world is actually the cause of shaman to the agitation of the living entity mentally and physically. That is the only process. Right? So Prabhupada mentions that a rishi, Narada Rishi, Vyasadeva, they are rishis. Rishis are those personalities who are Trikala Gyanis. Yesterday some devotee was asking a question. They are Trikala Gyanis. They have the vision of the future of what's going to happen. They know what's going to happen. But they are not like Nostradamus, that they know the future but they can't do anything. No marega, par kya karega? That no clue. They know the future. Then second, they know the strategy that we should use today to avoid that future, which is going to be dangerous. Now one may say they know the future, they know the strategy, but how to implement? A rishi is one who knows the vision, who knows the strategy, and who will sacrifice his whole existence to make everyone practice that strategy in their life. And that is Narad Muni, that is Vyasadeva, and that is Srila Prabhupada, and all the other acharyas. Their association is the key to bring the situation of the living entity out of this material world. Our situation in the material world is very helpless and hopeless. If we sincerely study Shastra, the first realization we should get is that we are hopeless and helpless. Right? Either you experience in the material world that we are helpless and hopeless, or you hear from the Shastra and experience that you are helpless and hopeless. Because only then you will take shelter of Krishna. Sharanagati, Karpanya is the beginning. Unless you feel helpless, you will never take shelter. Going to doctors, unless you're convinced I have a problem, you never take the medicine very seriously. एक दिन जैसे ही symptom खत्म हो जाता है, दवाई भी खत्म हो जाता है. Right? So Narada boy is put in a very helpless and hopeless situation. It's very favorable for Krishna consciousness. So we are in a helpless and hopeless situation. We every day sing, Om Agyana Timiranthasya Jnananjana Shalakaya. So our situation is Agyana, that means foolish. Timira, that means darkness. And Andhasya means blind. क्या कहने? You are foolish, we are in darkness, and we have no eyes. So how do you find the path? Imagine it is not dark. We are foolish, and we have no eyes. Can we reach the destination? Even one you remove, you can't reach. Okay, let's remove two. We are not foolish and it is not dark, but we are blind. Still you won't reach. So one problem you can't reach, but we have three. Then what is our hope? What do we pray? We pray to the spiritual master. You give me the eyes, you give me the knowledge, and you give me the direction. He gives you chakshu, he gives you jnanam, and he gives you the path by his example and practice. Right? So our hopeless and helpless situation is transformed by the association of the spiritual master and the sadhus. We sing in Vrindastakam also. Bhaktya vihina aparada lakshay shiptasya kama ditaranga madhye kripamayi tvam sharanam prapanna vrinde namaste charanarabindam. Bhaktya vihina, bhakti nahi hai. अपराध लक्ष्य, इसका अकाउंट बढ़ रहा है. क्षिप्तस्य कामादि तरंग मध्य, काम लोभ की इच्छाओं के सागर के मैं फंसा हुआ हूं. So again, three problems: no bhakti, aparad, and caught in material attachments of sense gratification. What is the way out? The same thing. Again, take shelter, sharanagati of the sadhus. For Narada boy, the beginning of his journey is being put in a very destitute situation of hopelessness and helplessness. Right? That is a very good qualification to take shelter of sadhus. Because you will depend on them. You will actually take the shelter and the good fortune will open up. That is why Kali Yuga and material and earth is very good. Here it is very difficult to be too happy. Misery is our basic program. So everybody is frustrated. So a very good situation to come to Krishna consciousness. And then when we come to the association of devotees, in these verses we will study, for the little time we have, of how does Narada boy become Narada Muni. So we have got clarity that the good fortune in this world is the association of Narada Muni, the sadhus, the Bhakti Vedantas. And just like for Narada boy, there were Bhakti Vedantas. For us, we have A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And we are sitting here in Chaturmas at his lotus feet. It's the same good fortune. Whatever Bhagvatam is speaking about is what has happened in our lives. Right? It is the same program implemented by Srila Prabhupada and the Acharyas. When Lord Narsimha was giving darshan to Prahlad Maharaj and asking him, ask for something, Prahlad. Ask for something. So Prahlad says, a beautiful verse, he says, Evam janam nipatitam prabhavahi kupe kamanu kama manuya prapatan prasanga kritvatmasat sura rishina bhagavan grihita soham katham na visruje tava bhritya seva. So Prahlad Maharaj is telling Lord Narsimha Dev, Kritmatmasat, Narad Muni has made me Atmasa. Whatever Narada was, Prahlad said, by his association, I have also become like that. Atmasat, Sura Rishina. Sura Rishi, who is Sura Rishi? Narada Muni. Soham katham na visruje. Oh Narsimhadev, how can I ask for anything but service to Narad Muni and to assist him life after life? Soham katham na visruje tava bhritya seva. How can I ask for any service? So by the association of the sadhus, we become like them. The chintamani makes, when it comes in contact with other things, it makes that also chintamani. And that only can help us get off from chinta for money, chinta for anything in this world. We have so much chinta. But that chinta will go when we have association of chintamani, sadhus. So Narad Muni is telling, how did I become fortunate by the association of the Bhakti Vedantas? So first of all, he qualifies himself. I was a Dasi Putra. I was a little boy, 3-4 year old. I was in a very destitute situation. But the good fortune happened. Nirupito balaka eva yogina. I was appointed as a boy servant of the devotees. In the association, I was given some seva. Says that's the beginning. So we get some opportunity to practice Krishna consciousness and serve. That is the beginning. And a little service. ऐसा नहीं कि the whole organization. He said, my service was, take this, clean this, put some more, put some less, bring this, bring that. Very, very simple. That's it. He says, I was Balaka. And because I was Balaka, you don't give lot of instructions to Balaka. You say only one instruction and that too small instruction. वो लेके आओ. क्यों लेके आओ? कैसे? like उधर रखा है लेके आओ बस. The simple service. Wash my clothes, set up my bedding, like this, like that. Prabhupada says. And this little service was the beginning. Right? And then he said, I was with the Bhakti Vedantas for 4 months, serving them. And they were discussing Krishna Katha. I was also hearing the Krishna Katha. Right? So this Swalpam api asya dharmasya. Just practicing this much, being in the association of sadhus and getting little service and hearing Krishna Katha, और end में तो प्रसाद का program होगा ही. Right? That goes without saying. That is our birthright. Right? Prabhupada says, just by doing that much, we will go back, we will not get an animal form. No gliding down. He says, you do anything in this world, you cannot assure a human life in the next. Prabhupada said there was a leader of a country who was leading the country, and next life he became a dog. So even if you become a leader of the country, managing the affairs and doing so much work, you can't be assured of a human form. Prabhupada says he became a dog in Switzerland. Right? Oh, you may say it's a fortunate situation. But if you stay in the association of sadhus, little seva, and devotees will give you little seva because that's how you engage people. I heard one Maharaj at one point of time, he would do a program somewhere in South India. And when he would come for the program, like he would see the setup and the whole setup is ready. Table is nice, chair is nice, mic is nice, everything is set. And boys are supposed to come. So suddenly the assistant was there and then Maharaj ji immediately dismantled everything. पूरा चटाई को इधर उधर फेंक दिया, आसन को उधर फेंक दिया, माइक को उधर रख दिया, ये कर दिया. फिर 3-4 बच्चे आए, पूरा हुलिया देखा तो बोले अरे सेटअप नहीं हुआ है, लगाओ ठीक से. बस सबको सेवा में लगा दिया. एक माइक लगाया, डोंट ट्राई इट. Right now everything gets recorded and live, But he said engage everyone in seva. Engage in seva. Some seva. You do seva, then सेवा करने से श्रवण में भी बहुत मन लगता है. और फिर प्रसाद, ताकि सेवा से खुला, श्रवण से अंदर गया, प्रसाद से ब्लॉक हो गया. राइट? भक्ति अंदर चला गया. एक एक कैप्सूल ऐसे एसोसिएशन में मिलता रहता है. एंड पर्सन स्टार्ट्स मेकिंग एडवांस. एंड प्रॉपर सेज द फर्स्ट ब्लेसिंग, human form guaranteed. Right? But nothing else in this world you can say you do and your human form is guaranteed. This is the first thing Prabhupada says that will happen. Just by being around. So we should have a prayer that we should stay around. Kuch bhi ho, stay around. So we would always tell devotees, and stay in the temple, stay near the temple, or make your home a temple. But always be around the temple. Never stay outside. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was told by Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, never go to Calcutta. That is Kali's capital. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj had a cataract. He said, Babaji Maharaj, go to Calcutta, get yourself operated. He said, no, that is Kali's place. I can't go and touch that. He was so fearful. Mahabhagvat. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was told, he was disciple, never go to Calcutta. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur came to Calcutta and established his Gaudiya Math. Why? Because he never went to Calcutta. He made a spiritual base and brought everyone to the base. So he was never in Calcutta. He was just opening oasis at every place. So that is the good fortune that is created by devotees. Immediately. Then he says, Narada boy, that the Vedantas, the Bhakti Vedantas, they are very, very impartial in giving their mercy. Their service is to distribute this transcendental mercy of Krishna, and they are very impartial. Prabhupada says, just like the sun. If you lock yourself in the room, who is to be blamed? The sun is giving sunlight to everyone. Right? So the good fortune is given to everyone, but of those who take it. So Bhakti Vedantas were giving this to everyone. Right? Then Narad Muni says, my one more qualification was I was Arbaka. Arbhaka means not experienced very well. So he said, that's why I was very simple and gentle. Jada gyan ho jane se problem ho jata hai. Right? Prabhupada said to his disciples, or the disciples said, Prabhupada, hum to gadhe hain. Prabhupada said, very good. Nice, you didn't say hum ghode hain. He said, अगर घोड़े हैं फिर लगाम नहीं लगा पाऊंगा और फिर चला नहीं पाऊंगा. जब तक गधे बने रहोगे तब तक चलेगा. Right? So that is how in the beginning it works very well in Krishna consciousness, because we know बहुत लात खा के आए हैं, परेशान हैं, त्राही माम, और भक्तों के संग में लगता है it's unlimited varsha of ecstasy. So it's very easy to take up Krishna consciousness and do everything. But after some time, we start getting healed. And as we are healing, we start reeling also. We start feeling, अब मैं समझ गया, हम भी कुछ हैं. फिर वो ही वायरस जो पहले था, वो आ जाता है. फिर हमको लगता है हम भी कुछ हैं, ये हैं, वो हैं. तो तब सारा प्रॉब्लम चालू हो जाता. Because then we don't start acknowledging what made our good fortune. And when we stop acknowledging what made our good fortune and disconnect ourselves to the connection, again we will start feeling material world's inertia. Right? Our glory is our connection. Our situation is like we are in the ocean, Bhavasagar. And Prabhupada from the ship has thrown a rope. So we have taken the rope, and that is why we are levitating in water. Make sense? You have the rope and you are in Bhavasagar, you are holding the rope. That's why you can be floating. But the moment that rope is taken away, then the depth of Bhavasagar will start pulling us. So our good fortune is our connection, and our pride and feeling a little important makes us less attentive to take our connection very seriously. The good fortune has not come by our qualification. Narada is saying, my disqualification is the qualification. I was Arbaka, not so experienced. So I always depended on the devotees. Right? He says, I was not naughty and I was not restless. I was not restless and I was not naughty. So Prabhupada explains, we become restless when we engage in sense gratification. Sense gratification and fruitive mentality makes mentally and physically restlessness. The moment you want something out of aspect, _, like you chant Hare Krishna, I want taste. I want to be attentive. I want to be this. I want to be want. This want will make you mentally and physically restless. I want to serve, whether I get or not. You will see immediately you become peaceful. Right? So he says, because he associated with the Bhakti Vedantas and did not associate with the materialistic people, he said he was not restless. So the problem why one becomes restless is because of our material association. We are associating in some subtle or gross form with the material world. Otherwise, how can we get that infection? Right? When we stay in the association of devotees, माया दिखती है? किसी को माया दिखती है? We are like, where is Maya? Where is Kali? Right? No problem. Because we are in association. That's why we are not restless. But you go out immediately. You go alone. You know, when you go home alone, how do you feel? Practicing Krishna consciousness. You know, just to do morning program, the whole day will be spent. Right? So one devotee was saying, you know, when you go home practicing Krishna consciousness and chanting is like, you know, वो साइकिल चलाते हैं ना, उसमें तेल नहीं डालते हैं तो पूरा वो चेन इतना हार्ड हो जाता है, खर खर साउंड आता है. तो एक एक माला करने में, चलाने में ऐसे आवाज ज्यादा आ रहा है, आगे जा नहीं रहा है. बट वही एसोसिएशन में माला मक्खन की तरह. सुबह बैठे, आंख बंद हुआ, क्या हुआ पता नहीं. राइट. बट 2 घंटा उठते ही 16 माला डाउन और अब दर्शनार्थी के लिए प्रिपेयर्ड. It seems like I become a superhuman being. So this is because of association. Prabhupada says, whatever you associate, that infection comes on you. Material infection, restlessness and naughty. Spiritual association and infection, I'm not naughty. I'm not feeling restlessness. So he says, I was not naughty. I was not restless. So we have to be careful that we don't secretly associate with Maya. And today, Maya has come in a very subtle form of internet and so many aspects that we are so vulnerable. You know, we really have to work hard to not allow that association. You know, if you're becoming restless, immediately say Hari Bol. If you're not, if you're still Sthitadhira Muni, then that's fine. You evaluate yourself to the extent we are. But the tremor is a lot. So he says we should be careful, not be restless and not be naughty. Right? Prabhupada said these Western people now they have become devotees. No more they're naughty. No more they're restless in material things. And then he says, I was not too much talkative. He was not talking very much. Prabhupada said, too much talking unnecessarily is against spiritual advancement of life. Right? It says, वाचो वेगम, मनस वेगम, क्रोध वेगम. जो ज्यादा बोलता है उसका मन उतना उत्तेजित होता है, और जिसका मन बहुत उत्तेजित होता है वो बहुत क्रोधित होता है. तो क्रोध ज्यादा है मतलब बहुत वाचो वेग है. So Prabhupada, you know, Sunarada says, I was not talking too much. So he said that is why Guru Maharaj, Prabhupada says, many spiritual masters tell their devotees, become mauni, become silent, right? Become silent. But Prabhupada says silent doesn't mean just be, you know, you take a slate, you're chup, you don't talk anything, you write down. And the person says, what is that? Match में इंडिया को कितना रन है. He's so silent, he's not talking to anyone, but his communication is, वर्ल्ड कप हो रहा है, कौन जीत रहा है, अभी हो रहा है ना. Someone told me, right? So silence, he says, is to speak about Krishna. Hear Krishna Katha and speak about Krishna. So that kind of speaking, Narad Muni says, no problem. Prabhupada says, no problem. Silence is golden. And then Maharaj Ji explains, silence means to speak about golden avatar, Lord Chaitanya and his Sankirtan movement. So that is how we should be silent. Munaya alpa bhashini shushru shamane. Okay, I was talking less, arbaka, I was, you know, having so many disqualifications, but at the same time, service must be there. You know, we are serving the spiritual master or serving in the association of devotees at that level. And what happens when you serve? What happens when you do seva? You get kripa. Service means you will get kripa, mercy. Heartfully, the devotee blesses. You ask for blessing, very difficult to get. But you assist them in service, they will bless you immediately. He said, even if they don't bless, the blessing will slip from their heart and enter your heart. Right? That is Bhakti Shakti. You have attracted it. That is how it will happen. And what will happen by that? He said, immediately there will be transformation. So Narada boy is telling, this is how I started experiencing transformation. Slowly, slowly, the modes of passion and ignorance depleting. My sins and sinful propensities, which are always pulling me, right? They're all pulling us. He said, the hold started decreasing. My knowledge started awakening. Right? My samskars were not affecting me. This is the effect of prasad, of receiving the prasadam from the Bhakti Vedas. But this is the process of how you receive prasad. Right? And then he explains the 25th verse that this kind of Guru Kripa is the means. And this 25th verse is the verse. Once only, he says, by their permission, I took the remnants of their food. एक बार उनका remnants मिला, and by so doing, all my sins were at once eradicated. I became purified in heart being engaged, and at this very same time, the very nature of the transcendentalist became attractive to me. He said, Anartha Nivritti, all the clarity, Nishtha, Asakti, Ruchi, everything manifested in my heart. And Narada boy, in few months he did it. Prabhupada says, Dhruva Maharaj, 6 months he did it. Narada boy, few months he did it. So Prabhupada says, our Krishna consciousness movement leaders should take note. There's a lot of scope with children. They can make advancement very fast. Of those who have stayed in this material world, a lot of deprogramming has to be done. Or reprogramming has to be done. And sometimes that programming or reprogramming takes years or decades. Right? But for children, it happens very easily. So he says, transcendentally became attractive to me. He says, Atma Ruchi. Right? So Prabhupada says, Atma Ruchi. So Atma can be body, Atma can be mind, and Atma can be the spiritual self. So in this world, Atma Ruchi means there is attraction for satisfying the body and mind. And how do you satisfy body and mind? You associate with others who are experienced in it. Yes or no? You associate with others and experience it. Or you watch others experiencing. When you watch others experience, then you feel, maybe I can also try. So Atma Ruchi takes place by association on a mental and physical level with people. So Prabhupada says, Sangha Sanjayate Kamaha. Whoever you associate with, you will become like that. So he says, Uchista Lepan Anumodito Dvijaha. He says, I took the Uchista. And what happened because I took Uchista? I became infected. मुझे infection पकड़ लिया. Just like when Corona was going on, everybody was isolated. Less than 1 gram of virus made everyone a vanara. Everybody was having a mask, right? Everybody was defeated and conquered. And they were very careful not to associate with anyone. And if they associated, they would have, what do you call that? Sanitize. They made a lot of business, right? So infection, Prabhupada says, if somebody's got tuberculosis, you're kept in isolation because that food is very infectious. Cholera is infectious. Smallpox is infectious. So any person who is infected and you take his food, you will also become infected. Uchishta lepan. Anumodito nahi hoga, but some other reaction will take place. So depending on your Atma Ruchi, the Uchishta lepan will work. If the Atma Ruchi is, I want to make my body and mind satisfied, then we need different infection. This Uchishta lepa may not be appealing. But when Atma Ruchi is, we want to become a lover of Krishna. At least the base concept. Right? Obviously, that concept of loving Krishna also comes in the association like Narada boy had. He was Arbaka. He was not knowing. It's like the devotees give us everything. They give us Krishna and teach us how to love Krishna. So he has been taught to love Krishna. He has been given that knowledge, and now the icing is Uchishta, the remnants of their prasadam. He said, when you take the remnants of that prasad, Prabhupada says, since these Bhakti Vedantis were infected with Krishna Prem, they're infected with love for Krishna, by tasting those remnants, Narada also became infected by love for Krishna. He was awakened, fully awakened. That actually Krishna is the Supreme Lord, He is the Super Self. I am the soul who is caught in this material world, and I need to make a journey towards Krishna. He was completely awakened just by that infection. He was a small boy, not possible to study Vedanta, not educated, but could eat the remnants given by the Bhakti Vedantas. And what happened? Evam pravrittasya vishuddha chetasa. The whole heart was cleansed. So Prabhupada says, how do you cleanse your heart? Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema. By chanting of the holy name. Kirtanadeva Krishnasya. But Prabhupada says, though the process is so simple, still people are lazy to chant. The easiest process is to chant and Vishuddha Chetasa. But Prabhupada says people are lazy to do that also. So he says we need to be serving the lotus feet of the sadhus. That will create the inspiration for chanting the holy name. That is the secret. Right? So, Uchistalepan anumdodvito is the cause of purification. It gives you Krishna. It gives you impetus to serve Krishna, the inspiration to serve Krishna, and gives you Krishna. Everything happens by that aspect, by that association of the Bhakti Vedantas. That's what is going to happen. He says, Mahi Asam Pada Rajobhishek. Prahlad Maharaj is asked by Hiranyakashipu, how did you become like what you have become? He says, Pitaji, आपके साथ ऐसा नहीं होगा. कितना भी लोग आपको समझाएंगे, आप कितना भी स्पेक्युलेशन कर लो, आप इम्प्रूव नहीं होगे. मतिर्न कृष्णा परतो स्वतो वा. कुछ नहीं होने वाला. तो कैसे होगा? प्रहलाद was giving the highest philosophy to Hiranyakashipu, whether he knew or not. He says, क्या करना है प्रहलाद? वृंदावन जाओ. मतलब एसोसिएशन में जाओ. फिर क्या करो? महीयसाम पाद रजोभिषेकम. वृंदावन में साधुओं की संगति में पिताजी, उनकी जो धूल है ना, उससे नहाना. उससे आपका बेड़ा पार हो जाएगा. ये मैं सबसे अच्छी चीज सीखा. He was giving the highest thing to Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu didn't hear properly. That's why they had to get operated. So we will see this in our life. If we hear from the devotees and take it up seriously, then we will not become a serious case. Right? We only have a choice. सुन के समझ जाओ तो जल्दी होगा. सुन के नहीं समझे तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. समझा दिए जाओगे। कृष्ण, गुरु, साधु, माया एक ही पार्टी है। ऐसा नहीं अलग अलग है, ओनली अलग अलग डिपार्टमेंट देके रखा है। एक समझाता है, प्रभुपाद सेड माया इज टिक इफेक्ट। गाय को घास दिखा के बुलाओ, नहीं आता है पीछे से बोलो डंडा लेके चालू कर। तो गुरु और कृष्णा घास दिखा रहे हैं और समझा रहे हैं, कभी डांट रहे हैं, सुनता नहीं। बोला माया, आपको लग रहा था ना सेवा ज्यादा नहीं है, आप भी सेवा में लग जाइए। She also wants service. By the way, she is initiated in our parampara, Haridas Thakur. She also wants to assist the Sankirtan movement. So whenever people don't hear it, she is very near. And she takes her stick and starts giving a lot of experiences. And then you will see devotees become very philosophical, very deep in their analysis. But the fact is very simple. करना क्या है? अरबा का बोला ठीक है, ये उठाओ, ये रखो, ये करो, 16 माला करो, 4 नियम करो, सेवा करो, जो बोला है। कुछ और अच्छा लग रहा है वो भी बोल दो, वो दे देंगे, और ऐसे लगे रहो। Simple. So all of them are one team to purify. So he says Mahiya Sampada Rajobhisheka, the great souls association, right, of the Bhakti Vedanta. So we are very fortunate. Prabhupada has made a house in which the whole world can live. And I was writing my offering to Srila Prabhupada, and I said, Prabhupada, your expertise is everyone in your movement has so much of service. Anyone feels unengaged? The only reason you may feel unengaged is because Maya has got you into a lot of engagements. That's the only reason. Otherwise, किसी को सेवा की कमी है. Right? 24 hours don't fall short. बोले प्रभु जी समय बढ़ा दीजिए या कुछ कर दीजिए. Isn't it so much of service? So Prabhupada's genius is every single person to come in the future also, उसके लिए सेवा already ready है legacy में. Isn't it? If anyone meets you, you become very excited. बताओ क्या कर सकते? Okay, किस डिपार्टमेंट में उसको घुसाओ? Isn't it? If any preacher or any devotee meets anyway, they talk very nicely. कहाँ से हो? क्या अच्छा लगता है? किसमें इंटरेस्ट है? Right? So आपको सोचने का टाइम नहीं लगता है, वो लगा देता है. बाद में बोलता है प्रभु जी मेरे पास टैलेंट नहीं. नहीं नहीं नहीं, लग जाओ, सब सीख जाओगे. मैं ये कभी किया नहीं हूं, मैंने पोटेंशियल देखा है तुमने. और बाद में देखो लाइक पर्सन क्या कर लेता है, और उसको फिर माला भी चढ़ा दिए, सब कुछ कर दिए. बोले मैं जाना नहीं चाहता था, करना नहीं चाहता था, लगा दिया, सेवा में कर दिया, टारगेट दे दिया, करते करते जीत गया, माला भी पहना दिया. मैं पूछ रहा हूं किसने धक्का दिया मुझे? So I think each of us can reflect. Till the time we have tried on our own, life has been very stressful. Till the time we thought, अब मैं कुछ दुनिया को दिखाना चाहता हूँ. अरे भाई यही ओरिजिनल प्रॉब्लम था, दिखाने के लिए यहाँ आए. तो प्रभुपाद says it is very clear from Brahma to the little ant, if you are here means we are prisoner. जेल में है मतलब कैदी है, और इंट्रोडक्शन नहीं चाहिए. जेल में क्या करोगे और इतने समय तक, राइट? तो जेल में है तो कैदी है. Right? So we have to understand that we are caught up in the situation. So we take the association of devotees, Mahiyasam. So Prabhupada has given us so much of service. We have sadhana, we have sangha, and we have seva. And Prabhupada says very interesting point, concluding in his lecture in this 25th verse. Prabhupada says, when we follow the Bhakti Vedantas, just like Narada boy became a Bhakti Vedantas. He said, all the devotees, as they practice Krishna consciousness, they also become awakened like Narada boy. So Prabhupada says, it is the duty of every member of Krishna conscious movement to awaken bhakti. And then when all the devotees will serve each other, associate with each other, they will allow the bhakti shakti into each other's hearts by the association. Right? Sometimes you say, oh, Bhakti Vedantas, where do I search those Bhakti Vedantas? Right? We already have so many instructions, so many service, we have spiritual masters, acharyas, and he says all the association. Everybody is capable of giving us that Bhakti Shakti, like the Bhakti Vedanta. It is not that, because anyone who is connected gets charged, na? If you put your connection to the plug point, you also get charged. Anyone connects with you, he can also charge you. So anyone has Bhakti Shakti can charge you. So Prabhupada says that all the members of the Krishna consciousness movement should charge themselves with this process. And then keep associating and serving each other and assisting. He said, everybody will become like Narada Muni. That is going to happen, like it happened for Narada. Right? It took few months. It may take us a lifetime, or depending on how intensely we develop our faith and trust. What Srila Prabhupada has given is the ultimate. We just need to develop more faith and shraddha to be able to take it up very seriously. Prabhupada says, advancement in Krishna consciousness is advancement in our convictions to follow the same basic process. How we are convinced of the same aspects, right? And we are blessed that we have beautiful association of so many wonderful devotees, and there is so much of programs designed by all our superiors that we are like whatever we're reading, it's already applied in our life. मतलब सुनने के बाद आप देखो लाइफ में कहाँ कहाँ किस भक्त ने क्या किया। अगर हम उसको पूरी श्रद्धा के साथ अपने जीवन में ग्रहण करें और नम्रता और जो क्वालिटीज दिए हैं, क्या क्वालिटीज हैं, all disqualifications are the qualifications. ये रह जाए qualities, and do not become restless by going to the outside association. Then it's only a matter of time. They will reach Krishna's lotus feet. And we also have the same service in Parampara to glorify the Supreme Lord and nourish the whole world. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Srimad Bhagvat Mahapuran ki, Srila Narad Muni ki, Srila Vyasadeva ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki, Jainitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari. Thank you very, very much. Hare Krishna.
His Grace Prem Svarupa Prabhu ki jai. So let us heartily thank Prem Svarupa Prabhu for nourishing all of us by glorifying Krishna and by showing us the way how association of devotees and the mercy we are receiving in Parampara is already we have to acknowledge, accept, and become like Narad Muni and go out and nourish others. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Let us heartily thank Prabhu by 3 times loudly chanting Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. So as we are continuing the camp, so now there is Prasadam. We request devotees to assemble back at 10:45 a.m. For Nishtha camp and GSNS launching camp. For both camps, the class is going to be in Temple Hall, and we are going to have a very special panel discussion. So there will be a panel of brahmacharis, grahasthas coming together and having a wonderful discussion. So we request you to come assemble back at 10:45. And for Drishti camp, the class will be in the same venue. And there will be 2 classes. First class will be given by His Grace Sri Ram Raghav Prabhu. Haribo. And after Sri Ram Raghav Prabhu's class, Drishti camp devotees will get fortune of hearing again from His Grace Prem Svarupa Prabhu. Haribo. So we request devotees to please take prasadam and come back at 10:45 at their respective venue. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.